the most common temperature conversion you're going to encounter in your chemistry courses is between Kelvin and Celsius. However, since we live in America, occasionally you're going to have to go back and forth between Fahrenheit and Celsius. Here's the equation for Fahrenheit. If you're given a temperature in Celsius, you can convert to Fahrenheit using this equation. If we solve this equation for C, we see the reverse conversion. Given a Fahrenheit temperature, we can convert to Celsius. All right, we recall the equation between Fahrenheit and Celsius, and solving for C, we get the following. So now we just input our values from the question. We've input the values from the statement question and arrived at a calculator answer. It's important to remember that this is inside parentheses, which means we need to subtract 32 from 320.1 prior to multiplying by 5 and then dividing by 9. So the last step is to worry about the Sig Figs. Remember, our Sig Fig rule for temperature conversions is based on decimal places. We want the same number of decimal places as our original temperature, which has 1. So we want 1 decimal place in our final answer. We see the first number to be dropped as 5, so we round up. We add 1 to the preceding decimal column, and our final result is 160.1 degrees C. Let's move on to the second question, between Kelvin and Celsius. Now note here this 0.15. Sometimes you see calculations that include the 0.15. Sometimes you see the calculations that don't include the 0.15. Don't worry about it. Your answer will be accepted either way, if you include the 0.15 or you do not include the 0.15. All right, so K is 273.15 plus Celsius. If we want to determine Celsius from Kelvin, we use this equation. So I've done the calculation both ways to show a point. You see our results are within significant figures. Remember, the last decimal place is understood to be plus or minus 1. There's a little bit of uncertainty there. So whether your answer is expressed as 26.9 or 27.0, either one would be accepted. Here we are going from Kelvin to Fahrenheit. Anytime you're going back and forth between Kelvin and Fahrenheit, you need to convert to Celsius first. So we're going to convert Kelvin to Celsius, and then we're going to do the second step, Celsius to Fahrenheit. So here we've arrived at the Celsius temperature. Now a reminder, do not round intermediate values. We're going to take this entire number and carry it to the next step. All right, so we've taken our Celsius value and we're going to convert it to Fahrenheit. For Sig Figs, we match the number of decimal places in our original temperature. There's 1 decimal place here, so we want 1 decimal place in our new temperature. We end up rounding down in this case. Our final answer is 80.3 degrees F. And here's our last example completed. 25 degrees C corresponds to 77 degrees Fahrenheit. A useful factoid in science is that 22 degrees C is approximately a normal room temperature, about 72 degrees Fahrenheit.